Just for my purpose, maybe I'll just create an user account with the admin privileges so that, just in case administrator is locked out, I have something else to send back. That is fine, but anyway we will do the data integration there. We will elevate the permission. Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's not. Or I will. At the end of the system, I will share one more document, so there. This kind of exercise will be there. So while doing that exercise, you can create one and do all the permissions. Close. Okay, now log off from the vault. Yeah, close this private client interface. And open private server interface. So, anyway, you know how to stop and start the vault. But just in case, if you don't know. So the red color traffic button is a stop button. So if you want to stop the vault server, you need to click on that red color button and once stopped, and if you want to start the vault again, that green color traffic button will be highlighted. So you need to click on that button next. So if you want to put any debug levels to the vault, then you need to click on that administration tab and select the debug label. So by default, per and perf are the default debug labels. Yeah, keep on, set dynamically. So here we need to enter other values for what issue you want to debug. So those values you need to update. So, for example, you have done that LDAP integration and a few users are not able to log. So if you want to troubleshoot that issue, then you can put that LDAP debug value. Put comma and then write LDAP in capital letters in brackets 1, 2, 3, 4. So those values will be available in the doc.cyberark.com, or if you raise a case to CyberHub, they will suggest us to put those debug labels and they will ask us to provide the logs. So if you want to put the debug labels dynamically, we can do that in the administration tab. And if you want to put that, sorry to interrupt. So can we create one user and for a lab user? We will check the logs here. At the case study. So we can create one user, check the activity and we can debug here. So what will be the how it's running? Can we check that? No, not how it is running, but we can check the flow, so where it is actually breaking. So why that user is not able to log those kinds of things we can check. Yeah, perfect, we can do that, and a few logs we can't analyze, but we can try, that's it. So basically, in case, if you are not unable to fix that issue, definitely we need to raise a case to CyberHub. At that moment they will only suggest to enable the debug labels and save the logs. So in case, if you want to study those logs, yeah, we can try that, but most of the cases they will analyze it. They will provide the update. Okay, so that is about this interface server. Now minimize this and open services. Post installation of the vault. You will get 6 services related to Vault. So first one is private database, second one private report control agent, and the third one. So this server service is mainly responsible for starting and stopping the Vault server. So in case, if you stop that private server service from here, and if you check that GUI-private server GUI, you can see that the server has stopped and going for client communication kind of stuff. And coming to private database. So that database service is running, so it's responsible for communicating to the database. So in background MS SQL database will be installed in the server. Okay. So we can't modify any tables or we can't retrieve the data. We can retrieve using UDV utility, but we can't modify database level values. Okay, so just this database service should be running. In case, if you want to run some DB Manix, some queries are there, so I will tell you later. So, in case, if you want to run that queries related to database, then this database service should be up and running. So, for example, you forget your master password, okay, and you have reached a case to Cyberark vendor. So definitely they will charge some $1,000 or $900 and they will provide one DB script. So in case, if you want to run that DB script, then private server service should be in stop state and private database service in running state. So if it is in running state, then only we can able to communicate to the database. So this is one of the examples. Okay, next private Arc remote control. So if you configure SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, then this service should be running. Using this service, SNMP traps will be forwarded to the SNMP server. Okay, so in our lab I can tell you how to configure the SNMP and what configuration file you need to edit, what changes we can do. But we can't configure because in our lab we can't set up the SNMP server. Could you just repeat the part? SNMP is essentially used here for monitoring the Vault. So if you want to monitor the Vault services, memory utilization, CPU utilization and disk space, then we need to configure this SNMP. So this Vault is a hardware box and you can't install any third-party agents or any application apart from several suggested applications. Okay. So for that reason, if you want to monitor the Vault, we need to configure the SNMP protocol. Simple Network Management Protocol. But that can be done on a different server altogether. No. So SNMP configuration from Vault. We need to do some steps, okay. The SNMP traps will be forwarded from Vault to the SNMP server, where in our organization we have some SNMP servers. So those servers will receive the traps and they will check some criteria. So, in case if your disk utilization is greater than 70%, immediately they will send an email notification and also incident to the directory. Now going to see Cyberark, to questions here in Cyberark portal by itself. We can see that entire time utilization on the process, like event logs, like what I'm seeing. Performance of Cyberark. So can we check the disk utilization? How are we utilizing the disk performance testing? Each and everything can be checked in the Cyberark dashboard. And the second question is, okay. Okay, so you mean to say in the Cyberark portal one system health tab is there. There you are asking, we can check or not. Yes, specific system health also, or enter the Cyberark portal. How many services are running through this portal? How many users are accessing and type in the dashboard? Can we see? See, we can see the logs, we can check that user credentials and details we can monitor, we can check and all. But as for the memory utilization process, disk utilization, can we see in one dashboard of whole history of how the Cyberark performing for the users? Okay, let me clarify that. So if the okay, so Cyberark components servers are there, right? So for the component servers, we can install any third-party tool like SolarWinds or Splunk and we can monitor those disk utilization, CPU utilization, memory utilization and service running status.